Hello friends. In series of Ascendant, today I'm going to talk about the Taurus Ascendant. And to know your Ascendant, please watch my introductory video where I have explained how you can find an Ascendant by looking at a Janam Patrika, Kundali or an horoscope. For simplicity, I have added a simple chart. Now note I haven't put any planets in it to make it simple. So let's first talk about the famous personalities who have got um, Taurus as their ascendant. So Lord Sri Krishna had Taurus as ascendant. David Beckham, Lata Mangeshkar, Rajneesh Osho, and J.R.D. Tata are some of the famous personalities who had Taurus as their ascendant. So when I talk about the characteristics, probably you will note that you know how the characteristics um, described in our ancient Vedas matches with the personalities that I just mentioned. And of course, there will be other personalities which you can find out on your own. So let's understand who are these Taurus ascendant people. So these Taurus ascendant people, they are strong and rigid. Okay, so basically it means where by looks they will look very strong with but then when I say rigid, basically they don't like changes. So they are quite stubborn people. They are likely to have uneven face. The reason for uneven face is basically because this sign is an earth sign. So the element assigned is earth, and on the earth, you have got mountains, sand, dust, everything. So that's the reason why they might have marks of pimple on their face. They are the people with healthy neck. So you will see a very healthy neck, as you might have noticed. The singers especially, most of them, they have healthy neck. So you can't really differentiate between their face and their shoulder because their neck is so thick. Then they will have sensual and sweet voice. Why sensual? The reason for sensual is because it's ruled by planet Venus, and then the sweet voice because second house rules your voice, your speaking ability. So because of Venus, it gives that sweetness in the voice. They love food. Why food? Because if you see in their second house, you've got Gemini, and Gemini. So if you see here, you have got Gemini in here. So they love different kind of tasty foods. They won't like the same food to be served, in the afternoon and at also at the dinner. So they would want different kinds of food, and they love that. Now, in terms of what's their goal in life, again, because as I said, it's an earth sign, earth trikona sign, which essentially means their goal is to accumulate wealth, and that's what they will always keep doing it, which also makes them greedy. Okay, and because they keep on wanting more and more and more wealth. Okay, and then it also, because Taurus, it's also in the Kalpurus, it represents the second house, which is about fixed assets. So they would create fixed asset, like they would have properties, they will have jewelries. Now, when it comes to their siblings, they are emotionally attached to their sibling. Region being moon rules their third house, so that's why they are emotionally attached. When it comes to their home life, you see you've got Leo sign in the fourth house, which essentially means they would be authoritative at home. They would give direction to their family members. Um, Now let's understand what about their children. So because it is more ruled by Mercury, so they will have intelligent and children who will be very analytical by nature. Um, and same when it comes to love, they can have multiple love affairs. Um, Again, when it comes to their as their marital or their spouse, so they could face some harmony related issue. So, reason being Mars being the functional malefic, and that's why they might not have that marital harmony. um, and also they are pleasure seeking. Again, the reason is Mars being the lord of the seventh house. When it comes to their higher studies, they would really, be more into a technical subject than a philosophical, non-technical subject. So, um, technical subjects are like engineering, anything, science. Most of the science subjects they would be coming under technical subjects, and they could potentially go abroad to do their higher studies. Okay, and they will also have to travel for their work. When I say travel, well, everybody travels, but it's more like their travel will be more visible. Okay, they will have big friend circle because of their the Pisces sign in the 11th house. Okay, when it comes to profession, so these people again, a lot depends on the planet placement, because we are not considering planets here. In general, they would be very good with their singing ability, and they will be good in finance, in becoming a bank manager, an accountant. Maybe they might work in a commercial organization in their procurement department. They would be good as a share brokers. They could also work in chemicals is ruled by Venus. Okay, so then when it comes to their health wise, they would usually you'll see, they are healthy people. Why? Because if you want to more understand about the Taurans, think about a bull. You would, when you imagine a bull, you'll always see a strong animal. So that's why these people, they are also quite healthy. Um, and strong. Okay. Now the problem they might have is the constipation. Reason being, because of their love to food, and the different kinds of food they would want to get from restaurant and have kind of, those spicy food. That's what makes constipation as their health issue. When it comes to any serious illness, I think it's compared to many other ascendants. They are not that prone to illness. However, if Mercury in their chart, if that's something is weak, then they might have a nervous system issue. Okay. Otherwise, usually they are kind of healthy people. Okay. Now, if you think in terms of the sign given to Taurus Ascendant, it's a bull. So bull, bull, how they look like and how they act. So that's what Taurians are. Um, that's the gender. So this is, I'm going into more on the technical aspect of the Taurus zodiac sign. Okay, so as a sign, it's a feminine sign. So what does that mean? So feminine wise, you can think like, if there is a woman who, or if there is a lady who is a Taurus ascendant, because of the feminine nature, she would love to do, put on the ornaments, go to the parlor, beauty parlor, and then go out, if ever, required. So that's how the feminine nature of the native comes into play. It's quite fixed, and I think I covered that because these people don't like changes. And then the element is earth. So this is again, I've talked earlier about, but if you see, there is a contrast here, because the element is earth, but the rulership, which is with Venus, is water. So it's a mixture of earth and water. Okay, that's what makes its sensual, personality. That's what gives sensual personality. The caste is Vaishya. Vaishya is all about, um, finance or transactions. Okay, so that's why Venus, I've already talked about, the pleasure seeking nature and the materialistic things they would love to avail. Uh, the rulership in the Kalpurush chart has been given to face. So that's why these people look very attractive, and they're not, they are just like they very charming. So if you think about Lord Shri Krishna, he had that Mayavi Jal. I think that's a word in Hindi which means, people mass gets attracted to these people. There are three nakshatras in this zodiac sign: Kritika, Rohini, and Mriksira. So Kritika, which Kritika is kind of quite cruel as such in nature. So these are the people who will might have multiple affairs. But again, I won't go into that because just going through each nakshatra would really take long. So mostly, what I've talked about are the people who are born in Rohini nakshatra. Okay, so hope this gives us understanding of the Taurus ascendant. And yeah, so we will next talk about the Gemini ascendant. Thank you. Bye.